Well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, which is just such a great time of day. Yeah. Code on the road then. Young Rewired State 2013. Should probably think about driving to Cardiff right now. That Spotify playlist needs to keep me awake this morning. Twilio as a company cares about making life simple for developers. The whole idea is this world of problems that can be solved by software people in a really simple and easy way. I've been involved with Young Rewired State for a number of years. Twilio's been involved as a sponsor for a couple of years. And sponsoring Young Rewired State typically means coming to Birmingham and seeing the final weekend. But we wanted to do something that would celebrate the coders of the UK across the country, across the week. And it was one of those light bulb moments. I just suddenly thought, why don't we do a road trip? So this road trip, Code on the Road, really is a celebration of everyone, kind of young people taking part in Young Rewired State, making use of open data and APIs to do really cool stuff. You look at the industry, you look at everyone, you look at people who are kind of dealing with closed APIs or don't necessarily get the importance of an API. These young people absolutely do. And so I'm looking forward to a week of being able to see what everyone's doing, being able to see some of the amazing hacks and different activities that the young people are doing all over the place. So our first stop is Wales, and I can't wait to get there. We started out in Cardiff on day one. It was an interesting journey, a little bit wet on the road, but we got there and we saw the birth of a centre. Cardiff was a brand new centre for Young Rewired State, kids that had never taken part in Young Rewired State before, and it was our first city on the road trip. So we got to see ideas just at the start of being formed. I spoke to the centre lead in Cardiff and we asked her why she wanted to support Young Rewired State.
It represented as a whole everything that Box UK feels about education for children. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for young children to work with experts in the field, to learn coding, the skills, the design, everything that when I was their age, I certainly never had any opportunities like that. And I think it's fantastic if we can contribute more to the younger generation. And you have a company like Rewired doing that. I just found it inspiring, to be honest. It's very inspiring to see them do that. You don't realise how much interest there is out there until you physically meet these children, and they're so young as well. And for me, I find that incredible. It's just amazing to see it.
Well, we left Cardiff quite quickly. We didn't want to interfere with their ideas at that early stage. And we hit the road and we headed towards Reading, a centre close to my heart, a place that I'd been to before and was the centre lead at last year. And there were so many people that were coming back to Young Rewired State. When we got to Reading, there were people there that I recognised from last year, as well as people that were there for the first time. And the diversity of projects that we saw, even at that first part of the first day, getting off the ground, was amazing. A few of the groups at Reading spoke to us about their projects and told us what they were working on.
I'm trying to build a little thing that commuters might use. It has lists of all the trains that run through different London Underground stations, and it tells you what train you're on in the software at the moment, and it tells you what station you're at, and if you're at a station with other train lines on it, you can switch to a different train, and so just work your way around the underground, switching trains at stations that actually have those trains at them. So it's just a very simple London Underground simulator.
You know Yelp, like businesses, and like they go like to reviews and stuff, kind of like that, but when you tweet somebody tweets something like I really hate the pub in Cheshire, and then it will see, they really hate the pub in Cheshire, -1 to the pub in Cheshire, and it will look like the pub in Cheshire name, it'll put -1, it'll keep doing that with like businesses, and then it has like ratings of businesses and stuff.
Today we've decided on a project that involves using Twitter, where hopefully at the end a user will be able to search for a specific topic or hashtag or user and return back a list of tweets on this topic, hashtag user, and hopefully we'll be able to mesh all these tweets together into a nice, happy, rhyming poem.
So we left Reading and headed towards Brighton. The weather was not on our side, the traffic was not on our side, but we made it. We made it to Brighton just after the kids had gone home. But in true style, we were able to catch up with the centre leads and talk to them about how the first day had gone.
They are sort of fairly experienced. We've got a few veterans who've been here for like sort of 2-3 years, and they're all really experienced in sort of codes they're using, and they're used to using the APIs and stuff like that. We've got a few intermediate participants who know a little bit of coding, but not a lot, but everyone's sort of really getting together and helping each other out. So yeah, it's a nice mix.
So it's past midnight. We are at a service station somewhere on the M25, and now we're just kind of pausing at the end of day one, taking a look back at the footage that we filmed, all of the awesome young coders that we spoke to, the amazing centre leads and mentors. I can't help but be so excited for what the rest of the week's going to bring. Tomorrow we're going to be moving on to Ipswich, Bletchley, Cambridge, Nottingham, other kind of East Anglia centres. We're going to be doing that starting quite early in the morning, so I think it's about time that I turned in. So day 2 rolled around, we went to Ipswich, Bletchley and Cambridge, and everywhere I went, young people were telling me about the importance of open data and APIs.
There's so much open data out there, especially from the government, and the things you can do with it, the ways you can interpret it and extrapolate more information from it, it has so many possibilities.
If it's like government open data, then it can sort of like help with innovation instead of keeping everything closed, and allows people to actually see what's happening in their government.
Well, at the moment we've been pulling in a lot of data, so we've been using some kind of open data from data.gov.uk, and that would be good for pollution data. And also we've been looking at things like the travel line developer area, which provides data sets as well for that.
At the end of day 2, we decided to travel all the way up to Carlisle to get ready for our next day's activities, which were in Carlisle, Edinburgh and Dundee. Day 3 had arrived and the weather was superb, for once no rain. We headed north of the border and into Scotland, rolling hills, beautiful scenery. We hit Edinburgh and Dundee and heard phenomenal things from centre leads and young people.
I'm creating a TIG web app which uses GPS so everyone goes around, and when you get within 5 meters of someone and you're a tigger, you can TIG them, and then you and them are both going to search for the remaining people. And it's the last person to survive has won, right? And there is a speed limit, so you can't go driving around, you have to be walking, and you can't start running either. And basically, if you go above that for too long, you automatically get tigged, so you've basically already lost.
Open data and stuff at the moment isn't particularly visible to the public eye. People on the street might not necessarily know about it or understand it, but open data and useful APIs are great advertising for developers, because if you work with the data provided by a company, you know that company is a good company with the stuff they present to you, and it would certainly convince me to be a good company to work for, or something like that.
We will be like the people that are running the country in the future, and most of it will be done with the newest technology, which you need to know code for if you want to develop it. So it's kind of the future is relying on coders.
So it's a great opportunity to learn it.
Yeah, especially at a young age when you can learn faster. I feel like I've had a challenge, and it's sort of, we're achieving it with help, and I'm learning stuff as well, on top of the stuff that I already know.
The evening of day 3 was marked with a long journey from Scotland back down into England. Day 4, we saw Preston and Manchester, and what a display of amazing things from young people.
So when I was growing up, so nothing like this really existed, and the first experience I had of other people coding outside of me just doing it as a hobby at home was when I got to university. And I think that was pretty much everyone. So everyone in my year kind of just had the same experience. Everyone sort of didn't really start coding properly until they got to university. So I thought this is an absolutely great opportunity for kids, and I wished it had been around for me when I was there, so that's why I've come down.
Well, this year I'm building a analyzer for Wikipedia. It analyzes it lexically and structurally using a neural network and an engram model. And it's basically there to improve Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is great, it rocks, and to keep it that way we need to constantly improve it. And because it's so massive, humans at some stage won't be able to cope with that anymore, so software is a solution.
We arrived at Manchester to find that we weren't the only camera crew on site. The BBC were already there filming a piece for Breakfast News as well. So the interest in coders is changing from just developers and IT companies that want to talk about them, but the BBC, even for prime time television, is now interested in talking about young developers and seeing the amazing things that they do. If we as an industry can't pull together, open up our APIs, give young people access to our data and our tools, then we are not equipping the next generation as well as we can. These young people have ideas, they have imagination, they have a whole host of skills that are ready for us to use and are ready to hit the spotlight. What we need is to support them in every way we can.